Hey guys, today we are going to be talking about last week's story named What Happened to This Mother Will Terrify You. So that story that I created was actually based off true events, based off the case of, and I'm going to butcher his name here probably, Amar Seda. Amar, what is what I'll call him, was born in India in the small village of Mushahar, and he was 8 years old when he was finally captured. And by the time he was captured, he had already murdered 3 people. So let's jump right into it. So Amar was 8 years old when he did these crimes, and he grew up in the village of Mushahar. And his mother and father, they were extremely poor. His father was day laborers. There was abuse in the household, and Amar himself was not educated because from a very young age, pretty much as soon as he could start working, his father would use him to work as well. In 2007, an infant went missing from her daycare at a primary school. The media called her Kushbu, was the name that they released. And after a few hours of her going missing and the police coming in, Amar would finally fess up that he was the one that not only took her from the school, but he took her off into a field away from the village, and he strangled her and beat her with a brick. As soon as he admitted that, police, they took him in. They were obviously shocked. The villagers, they had already told the police that they thought he had did it because of something that happened a year prior in 2006. They didn't really believe it until Amar admitted to it. So when they took him into custody, they were questioning him, and not only was he telling them how he did that to Kushbu, he ended up admitting to murdering 2 other infants. A year prior, in 2006, he murdered his baby sister, and then he would murder his cousin. The police, they were totally shocked about it, but they were also shocked on why they never heard of it. No one ever came forth with that he had killed 2 people prior, the year before. So everybody's shocked about it. So the reasoning why they didn't hear about it is because the actual family, Amar's family, they were covering it up. His uncle, when he would be interviewed, the father of the daughter that Amar killed, that was his cousin, he would tell people that pretty much, family is all that matters. Basically, you need to look after family. So they were covering these murders up and keeping it a family matter. And the village knew this. But the way this village kind of operated was, we don't get involved in family matters. We don't want them involved in our family issues. We're not going to get involved in their family issues. So nobody talked about it. Nobody reported it to police. People, they cared, but they didn't care. And they just tried to bury it and let them deal with Amar. All that changed when he branched out and he killed Kushbu. When he killed her, wasn't a part of his family. So then people cared. Started getting worried. And rightfully so. They should be worried because, Amar, he was going to keep on doing it if he didn't get caught. So Amar, he would become like these doctors and psychologists. They were fascinated by him because he's an 8-year-old serial killer, is what he is. So he would be arrested, he would be tried, but under Indian law, you can't charge a minor with that kind of crime, not that young. And on top of that, the previous 2 murders, they were covered up, so it was just hearsay there. So the only punishment that he could get was to be placed in a boys' home where he could receive treatment for his issues, and he would be released at 18. So while he was there, he would get studied and people would look into him. He had a conduct disorder, which that meant Amar, he didn't know right from wrong. He could not tell the difference. But not only was that, but he'd be diagnosed as a sadist. And as a sadist, he loved inflicting pain, which, from what other villagers would say, was they always thought he was a strange child because he would kick a random dog on the street, or he would be playing with kids and he would hurt them kids. And when he would do it, he would laugh about it. He would laugh about it. He loved it. It made him happy. So people tried to keep their kids away from Amar. They tried to stay away from Amar because they just thought he was a strange child. But in reality, he was a sadist who enjoyed doing those things. Now, throughout this whole process of him going through trials and him being kind of studied by psychiatrists, there were a group of people that thought that he was set up. They really thought he was set up because the way the bodies were hidden, people didn't think that a 8-year-old could get those bodies to where they were and hide them the way that they were, because they were really well hidden. But police and everyone involved in the case, they never had a second thought that Amar did do this, because not only did Amar take the police straight to where Kushbu's body was, whenever they would ask him why he did it, or they would ask him any questions about it, he would laugh the entire time. It's like he enjoyed talking about it. He just loved talking about that he did this to her. And, there was actually it was kind of the creepiest part to me, but they asked him, why'd you do it? And they were feeding Amar these like little biscuits, these little snack biscuits. And one of the times when they would ask him, why'd you do it? He would just start laughing, and he would ask for more biscuits. He'd say, I need some more biscuits. So it's kind of crazy to me how he did that. It's kind of freaky. Just have an 8-year-old laugh at you, enjoying talking about murdering other kids, and all he cares about is getting some more biscuits. So he was placed in the boys' home, and nobody really heard or knew anything about Amar. The whole thing kind of faded off relatively quickly for what it was. It kind of vanished pretty quick. But the media did hear from him in 2015. Amar would have been about 17 in 2015. And basically all we did was tell them that he was still in this boys' home and that he was still looking forward to being released when he was 18. And that was pretty much it. They asked him questions. He didn't answer any questions. If he did answer any questions, I can't find the interview online anywhere. That was pretty much all he said to him. He would be released in 2016 when he turned 18. And it'd be super secretive. So he would be released. Nobody knows where he was released to. He was placed somewhere else, and he was given a false name. Not really a false name, but a new name to live under. And to this day, he's still roaming around. Nobody knows where he is. His treatments could have worked, or he could be out there, killing people still. Who knows? But he's released. No one knows where he is, and that's pretty much the end of that case. They kept it pretty secret over there because of him being a minor. They kind of locked up all his files. You can't see them, but yeah, craziest thing is that there actually is a serial killer that a government knows about and has captured, and then they released him back into the population, which maybe all the treatments worked, who knows, but it's still kind of sketchy to know that he's out there walking around. He could still be doing it. But that's it for today's video. Hopefully you liked it. Like I said, this is the case that I based last week's story off of. I was supposed to tell you if it was truth or tell at the end of today's story. It was supposed to be a completely new story, and then I would just leave this little part at the end. But didn't happen that way. I'm new to the YouTube thing. This is only my second video, and apparently I need to edit my videos before trying to upload them to YouTube, because trying to upload a unedited video and then try to edit it inside, it wasn't working out. It was too big or something. I don't know. So that's being delayed until a different day. But if you like this video, if the kind of content I create interests you, where I create stories that are completely made up, or I create stories that are actually based off true events and tell them in a way to leave you guessing if it was real. Then please subscribe, share it to people that you think may be interested in it. And until next week, I'll try to get another video next week. Hope y'all have a great week, and talk to you soon.